I'd like to call to order the Utility Service Board for the City of Lawrence. On this, the 27th day of June, 2023, we have 4 of our 5 members present, so we do have a quorum. And first order of business, the minutes were sent out to you for your review by email. I would entertain a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, we will vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Minutes are approved. Next order of business will be the payment of claims. The claims were sent out to you for your review by email. I would entertain a motion that we approve the payment of the claims.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Payment of claims are approved. Report of our utility superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just start out with the, I'll touch on that. We have one account adjustment on the agenda tonight. We do have our staff reviewed that, and they do recommend approval. It's at 4759 Normal Avenue in the amount of $312.08 due to a service line leak. So getting into my report, you'll notice the actual agreement for the asset management planning with Wessler. I actually had to pull that agreement off because there was a change in the terms and conditions that our lawyer wanted, and we haven't got the corrected one back yet, but I forgot to take this piece out of my report, but we'll touch on it anyway since we'll be bringing that to you at the next meeting. So that basically it's a continuation of our asset management planning that we have to complete in order to be eligible for IFA funding in the future and that kind of stuff. So right now, Wessler is working on wrapping up the field and technical portion of that relates to our GIS and the gathering of asset data out in the field and stuff like that. And so this next phase that we're going into will deal with the managerial aspects of the asset management program. And so we do need to move forward on that. So we'll be bringing that agreement to you for the next meeting, which you'll be able to read through it and everything. The other items we have are the agreement with Ottenweller Contracting, which was approved at the last meeting, awarded that contract to Ottenweller. We just need a signature on the agreement. We did have our pre-bid meeting for Brookside Park Phase 2A water main replacement. That was held June 21st. And then we have the bids for this project are due on July 12th, and they'll be opened and read aloud and given to the engineer to review, and then we'll come back with a recommendation again at the July 25th USB meeting. We've got about 6 contractors now that have pulled plans for that. The other item that we have under new business is a signing of a letter of understanding with Wessler for our lead service line inventory type 2 IFA funding. So the type 2 funding through IFA, that's to complete our lead service line inventory, which is a requirement under the new lead and copper rules that were passed, I don't know, a couple of years ago or something like that. But at any rate, there is a funding opportunity out there with IFA to complete our inventory work. And so working with Kurt Waniger here with Wessler, we got the applications in, and so we have been awarded funding for Type 2 in the amount of $55,000. Now under the Type 2 funding, that money is paid directly to Wessler from IFA. Doesn't impact us at all. So, but that does require that we sign this letter of understanding. Now, when we get into Type 3 funding, it's a little bit different. We can receive up to $350,000 for that, and of course, we'll enter into an agreement with IFA over that, but we'll pay that out. Just it's almost kind of like an SRF loan. But it's not a loan, it's a
Grant.
grant, right? Yeah. So at any rate, we do recommend that the board go ahead and sign that LOU so we can get that project rolling. I do also want to briefly mention, pretty hot topic right now is PFAs, PFOs. I imagine people, you've probably heard or read about that in the news media. So it's per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Forever Chemicals is another name that you might have heard. At any rate, it's becoming a big hot button issue in the industry. And so IDEM is in the process of a voluntary sampling program to what they're trying to determine is the prevalence of PFAS throughout all the Indiana. So we are in the third tier. So our sampling, we will receive sampling kits on July 10th. So we're going to go ahead and pull all those samples, get that in to be tested. And then once we get our test results back, we'll have an idea, number one, whether it's even an issue for us. That's the big thing to determine first, whether we're even affected by PFAS. There are a lot of communities that are not. And then if we do have them, at what level? Does it require, that we go to some kind of remediation activity or something like that? One of the things that EPA in their roadmap strategy, which I've posted that document on our website, some of this I've touched on in my upcoming July Lawrence Lift too. But obviously the goal is to go after the producers or the makers of these chemicals. And so there, you might have heard there's recently has been some settlements with like 3M, maybe DuPont, and there's a couple other big companies there. But at any rate, at the next meeting too, I'll be bringing an engagement letter. Right now we're reviewing it. I got a copy of it early today, and I want to discuss it with our attorney. It's an engagement letter with Taft Law to represent us, and should we need to initiate legal action to get funds, to if we have to even do anything. So I think it's a good idea to do that, but I do have some questions about that agreement that I'll be discussing with her. But basically, it brings them on board if we need to go after, one of these companies and get compensation for whatever remediation we might have to do, any, soil testing, water testing, cleanup, anything like that. So again, I'll be bringing that to the next meeting, but just want to let you know we are working on that.
I do have a general follow-up question. So you mentioned the soil and the water. Will you just kind of do a lottery how will you do the?
No, there's a very prescribed testing program. Right now, all our testing will be in our raw water sources and our 3 water plant effluent points.
Okay.
So if soil testing is required, first of all, if it's determined that you have PFAs or whatever, then I think the next big step is, okay, where's the stuff coming from? Mm-hmm. So, then you probably do a lot more water testing from a lot maybe different spots, and then and probably soil testing too, like probably in your well fields. Just, have an idea where that stuff might be originating from. Okay. But the big thing first is to see if it's even
if it even exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Taft, the people that are working there, they have extensive experience in dealing with the PFA issues. They've been dealing with it for years.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Anything further? Okay. If not, we will proceed. We do not have any unfinished business this evening. Under new business, item number 1, I would entertain a motion for approval of signature on the project agreement for the awarded Ottenweller construction bid on Fort Harrison Collection System Capacity Improvements Phase 1.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, we will vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. That is approved. Second order of business, I would entertain a motion for approval of letter of understanding with Wessler Engineering for lead service line inventory Type 2 IFA funding.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. That is approved. We then move to account adjustments. I would entertain a motion for approval of a sanitary sewer adjustment at 4759 Normal Avenue for $312.08 due to a service line leak.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. That is approved. We do not have any remonstration or ratepayer dispute regarding disconnect notices this evening. No citizens' comments. Entertain a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you all for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you all.